Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 9 of the How to Build a Pole Barn series, where we're just simply following along in the process of the build of my pole barn home. Everything from pulling permits and making your plans to finding a company and then following through the build up until this point. We've been working with a general contractor to go through and prepare the land. We got the poles set in the last video. We talked about how the poles are notched out at the top, and that would be preparing us for our truss. So episode 9 is going to lead into a little bit more development on why those are notched out and what the next step is from there that we had done. So let me show back here for a second on the screen. The posts have been set. They have been notched out at the top. The reason they're notched out and they're notched out on both sides is this is going to seat our LVL beams. Now, LVL is an abbreviation for laminated veneer lumber. And I'll throw up, again, a picture here of what that looks like. And if you look closely, it's many small layers of veneer wood. What's done is they are essentially almost like glued together, and it's heated and pressured to form these beams. And the reason that this is done is it adds an immense amount of strength to the beam itself, which we want if we're carrying the truss and the weight of the entire roof essentially for our building. We want to be able to carry a large load. You have to think about snow load, stuff like that up on the roof. So we use these LVL beams. They span across all of the posts, and then this is what the truss will come in and be set along in line on top of afterward, once we can verify that those are done being produced, delivered, and we can get a crane scheduled to come and set those on. So here I will pan off to some video footage of having those beams set up there and what's going on with those. What you can see is happening here is using those notches, these 10-inch LVL beams sit inside each one of those notches on both sides, and what they end up doing is, if you look close here, they form a cavity. So what we want to do is we actually want to fill that space in with insulation for later down the road. So we take this just strips, chunks of insulation, cut them down to fit the distance between the posts, and then we have the guys up here climbing up here, stuffing them in and filling them in. So unfortunately, we weren't really able to be there for any of this starting for the cutouts for the windows. What I'm going to do is, you're going to see in the last little shots of wrapping this up here for the day, talking about the LVL beams, you'll see some of the windows and doors for the front are already cut out. Again, unfortunately, with my work schedule, I wasn't able to be there for this to shoot as it's going on and through that, but I'm going to make a separate short video coming up next that just a little bit talks about the process. Unfortunately, again, it'll already be done after the fact, but we'll touch on the windows and doors and how we line those up and framed out for those. But for now, please remember to like and subscribe if you want to follow along in the build. The weather looks decent, at least on the schedule for the week. So hopefully we're going to get some good progress this week and get some stone in there and get rid of this slop, because the clay and the melting snow is making quite a mess. But if you have any questions, comments, feel free to throw them below and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks.